Good evening and welcome to the real world. You read Parshas Bereshis every single day of creation. We know exactly what was made, and even as you get older, you sometimes forget a little bit to order. Your kids are going to bring home, your Einichlich are going to bring home arts and crafts, and they remind you. But you know the 6 days of creation. Every day the Rebbe made something. Erev Shabbos, Bein Hashmashos, Mishnah and Avos. What was created then during those moments? So the Mishnah says, Parak Hey, Mishnah Ches, the Pia Aretz, Pia Be'er, the Shamir, the worm that cracked the stone, the letters of the Luchais, the Man, the Mata. The Mishnah goes through a bunch of things over here. All things that have something in common. Pia Aretz, the earth that opened up. It looks like a mundane, looks like earth, like a clump of earth, but had the properties, the potential to open up. Pia Be'er, the well, the Pia Asein, Bilam's donkey. It looked like a mundane thing, a creation, a creature, an animal, a donkey, but it could talk. All these things were mundane things, tangible, seemingly corporal for the world of the physicality and for the world that you could see and touch, but invested with something supernatural, something extraordinary. That's what the Al-Shech is our Shabbos, Be'er Shmashos. Friday is mundane, it's the weekday, the Vach. Come Shabbos, it's holy, extraordinary, supernatural. Erev Shabbos, Be'er Shmashos is the meeting point of heaven and earth, and things that were created then have that ability to be in this world, to carry the properties of another world, something supernatural, amazing. But the last line of the Mishnah seems cryptic. Last line of the Mishnah says, some people say the tongs were also created with tongs. Now what does that even mean? It means that the original tongs are metal, and they take things out of the fire, and that's how you use it. A blacksmith or anybody who's creating things with metal and fire needs tongs. How were the first pair of tongs made? They're also metal. Who took them out of the fire? The Mishnah, the tongs, the first pair of tongs in creation were also made with tongs. Has it fitted in over here? Especially then that we're saying from the Alshach that the theme of this Mishnah is talking about things that are natural, that carry supernatural properties. Someone told me over last week, we were talking about Hakafis and indoor minyanim and outdoor minyanim and how important it is. Is it that important? And he told me something amazing, that one of his children, when he was much younger, 6 or 7 or 8 years old, experienced a very difficult year in school. They had an undiagnosed learning issue, and he wasn't really connecting with the rabbi, couldn't really read, didn't understand what was going on in class, and he spent much of the year on the bench outside the principal's office because they thought he was a troublemaker, which is very often what happens with kids who aren't getting what's going on in class. They think they're troublemakers. And he said his kids spend most of the year not learning anything. But he said at least once a week his kid would come home from school after a miserable, dark day sitting on a wooden bench, feeling like an idiot. And he said the kid would wrap himself up in a big pair of tzitzis as if it was a talis. So he'd go to the basement and he'd take a little toy Sefer Torah and he would dance back and forth and sing Baruch Hu Elokeinu Torah Hashem Tamima Ashrei Ha'am. The songs of Simchas Torah over and over and over again. And he says, if not for the Simchas Torah, for the 2 hours spent by a kafis, I don't know that my kid would even be frum, would even be connected, would have anything anymore. But clearly, the nourishment, the vitamins, the pills that sustained him through a time when he wasn't learning and he wasn't davening were the songs of Simchas Torah. So he says, we don't even know what's going on. We go to Hakafis, and everybody, of course, had to make their own decisions. I don't mean for this year, but when you expose somebody to something like that, an experience like that, something happens. It's seared on the neshama in a way that's intangible. We don't even understand what that means for the rest of the year. And we all see effects of this. We underestimate the power of spiritual experiences to shape us way after the experience is gone. The Gemara tells us about Tanaim, whose mother took them into the Beit Medrash to hear the sound of Torah, and that affected them later on in life, purifying their hearts. We don't even know what it means always, but there's something very real and something very alive and something very lasting that happens to a child, a boy, a girl, a teenage boy, a bacher, a teenage girl is watching. Hakafas happen. Something happens. That ability, we tend to think of the Yom Tovim over, and now we go back to real life. But the trick is to take the experiences that affected us during the holiest days of the year, which we just passed, and bring them into the rest of the year. To have your children dancing Hakafas Nagunim and Shvat is something very special. You know what that's called? Tongs, Tzfas. To be able to take a little bit of Kedusha and spread it out over the years. There's a niggun, a Yiddish niggun there, Baruch Ber, Al Vashalom composed. And the lyrics are, V'nemmen the Heilige Tag, ze zijn weggegangen, bedafen ze zu halten. We have to hold on to the holy days mit eiserne Zwangen, with iron tongs. Zwangen are the tzvas of this Mishnah. That's the kunst, that's the challenge right now, to take the holiest days and spread out that information, that inspiration, and keep them alive.